An anonymous source provided this video. A warning, you may find this video disturbing.
When I get out of here, and I will, there's gonna be carnage.
What is up, my fellow quirky people? Today I'm gonna politely ask you to let there be some carnage in your lives. Just look at his smile. Isn't he the sweetest little child of Venom? Well, I love him, but I certainly won't try to pet him. The guy is absolutely crazy, and obviously much more stronger than Venom.
Oh, shit! Whoa, where you going?
Hopefully, we'd somehow see his return in the future, because the multiverse is opening up. And I'd love to pit him up against other heroes and characters of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We've already got a cinematic battle between Venom and Carnage, but the future could, and probably should, give us a battle between Carnage and Spider-Man. We're certainly going to get Spider-Man vs. Venom in the Venom threequel, as that has been teased by literally everyone. But I believe that Spider-Man and Carnage could really give us something even better. These two characters have fought several times in the comics. There have been times where Spider-Man comes out on top, and on other occasions, Carnage emerged victorious. But this video is not about what has happened already. It is about what could happen in the future if the wall crawler gets to take on the red symbiote. Both of them are insanely strong and will deliver a grand spectacle on the big screen. So without any further ado, let's look at the powers and abilities of these two characters and see who emerges victorious. First, let's look at the powers and abilities of Carnage. Peak physical strength. His strength is actually greater than both Venom and Spider-Man combined.
It's not possible.
You'd be surprised to know that this murderous symbiote is able to lift up to 80 tons. And even that is not his true limit, as his strength increases with his size and variable muscle mass. Apart from his strength, the Carnage symbiote is capable of massive expansion. If you look at this particular shot, the Carnage is all over the place. It's almost like Carnage could absorb Venom entirely. Well, he could absorb someone like Spider-Man for sure, so Spidey will have to fight from a distance and look for his moments to attack. Transformation. If you look closely at Carnage in the trailer, he and Cletus Cassidy seem to be the same entity. Venom and Eddie are two different individuals who have their own consciences. But Carnage and Cletus seem to be a single person. Venom forms around the body of Eddie, but when Carnage emerges, it looks as if he is coming out of Cassidy's veins. And because of that, it is possible that the symbiote could take different forms. So Carnage can actually gain an advantage in a mental battle against Peter. Weapons. As we saw in the trailer, the tendrils of Carnage turned into strong, hardcore weapons. Riot was just able to create weapons out of his two hands and a few spikes from the rest of his body. But Carnage has all sorts of tendrils that can take the shape of different weapons such as swords, spears, spiky maces, halberds, and whatnot. And these weapons can also be used as projectiles. So, Peter's Spidey sense will have to be 100% functional. Another ability that Venom, Let There Be Carnage, has given the symbiote is Tornado Creation. Apparently, Carnage can use his tendrils and agility to spin so fast that it can create a destructive vortex of violently rotating winds. He uses this ability in the film to pull the Warden in and kill him. So he could pull a similar move against Peter Parker. Besides having his own powers, Carnage is also empowered by Null. In the comics, Carnage shares a connection to the Clinter god Null. This connection actually turns him into a demigod. And with the powers bestowed upon him by Null, he can even mind control of his symbiotes through a hive mind. But not only can he control other symbiotes, he can also turn other humans into his drones. So, he can really attack Spidey with his own army. Enough said about Carnage. It is Spidey's turn now. The web slinger also has superhuman strength. Let me tell you that Peter Parker's strength is not as massive as Carnage, but he is still pretty strong and durable. He can cause a bit of damage if he manages to land a good hit, and his strength is backed by his crazy agility. Even Carnage can find it tough to land a hit on Spider-Man, and if he does, Spider-Man can surely sustain a lot of damage. He'd manage to fight Carnage for quite a while, even if he takes a few hits from the red symbiote. Besides that, we all know that Spider-Man can use his web creation.
Mr. Stark really overdid it.
Peter Parker can use his web pretty efficiently against Carnage. Not only can he swing around, but he can also shoot web bombs out of his web shoots. He can also distract Carnage with his web traps. Although, Carnage will manage to recover from these attacks quite easily. But the ability that gives Peter Parker an edge in any battle is his Peter tingle. The spider sense makes Peter aware of incoming attacks instantly, and at the same time, it enables him to dodge and deploy countermeasures. Using this, Pete manages to fight pretty effectively since he isn't taking any hits and landing several of his own. But all these abilities won't really help Spider-Man take down Carnage for good. For that, he will have to fight smart and use the vulnerabilities of Carnage.
And that's the most beautiful thing I've ever heard. You're absolutely right.
Like all other symbiotes, Carnage is weak against high-frequency sound waves and heat. So, Peter could deploy that in his battles.
I know, right?
And he could find ways to burn his symbiote. But after being exposed to the eldritch power of the Darkhold, Carnage became immune to Sonics.
Carnage is the perfect weapon!
And he also infused himself with a dose of the Goblin formula, which took his heat weakness away as well. So how can Peter manage to defeat Carnage without exploiting these weaknesses?
Come here.
Well, he'll certainly need a bit of external help. And one way of getting additional strength is to use the Iron Spider suit. This tech-based suit will increase Peter's chances of beating Carnage. It won't just increase his durability, but it will also give him his own projectiles along with thousands of other web combinations.
I'm touching myself tonight.
Spidey will be able to survive even if he gets sucked into Carnage's tornado. And I believe that Carnage's tendrils may not be able to pierce his suit.
I knew it.
Carnage has another slight weakness which he usually manages to recover from soon enough, and that weakness is electricity. So, Peter could use his high voltage taser webs to at least slow the symbiote down and attack him. Yes! But if the Iron Spider suit is not enough, then Peter can get another upgrade and fight fire with fire. Or I should say, fight symbiote with symbiote. Yes, I'm talking about the Venom upgrade here. Peter could get the biggest chance to win against Carnage if he bonds with the Venom symbiote. Not only would Pete get all the symbiote abilities, but his gooey black suit will also enhance his other powers. And the Venom symbiote also unleashes a bit of anger out of Spider-Man. This rage may not be good for him for the longer run, but it could allow him to beat Carnage. So, I believe that it would be amazing to witness a battle between Carnage and a Venom-infused Spider-Man. To conclude things, I'd say that Carnage is obviously much stronger than Spider-Man, but the web slinger could find ways to take the murderous symbiote down. How else do you think Spider-Man can win against Carnage? Let us know your ideas in the comments. Give us a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button if you enjoyed the video. And don't forget to check out some more fun content on our channel. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye!